Hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the session. Today we are so excited to talk about the future of digital asset treasury. So my name is Ryo from Coinpost and WebEx. We do the crypto media in Japan, also organizing a conference called the WebEx in Tokyo. Definitely that is gonna be like huge topic in this space right now. And then here we are so excited to talk about this topic today. So James, can you just start make an introduction yourself, please?
Sure. Thank you very much. My name is James Lee. I'm the founder, chairman of Nature's Miracle Holding. I had a session earlier, talk about the tokenization. So Nature Miracle started on NASDAQ with vertical farming business. Since earlier this year, we have switched to XRP strategy. So in July, we launched a $20 million XRP treasure program. So we were one of the first public company announced the digital treasure using XRP. And recently, we have also announced a $20 million acquisition of carbon credit. So we intend to develop a tokenized product using carbon credit.
Hi, my name is Erico, and I'm from the Korea Digital Asset Custody, and I work as the Chief Strategy Officer there. And I'm very happy to be invited here to share amazing insights with many experts from all around the world. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. My name is Jakob, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Clearpool. Clearpool is an institutional lending platform. We've been around for 4 years, and we've done approximately $900 million worth of loans. We are currently mainly focusing on sourcing liquidity for stablecoin-enabled fintechs, mainly in the payment space, so payment financing, cross-border payments, which is then obviously very aligned with Ripple's mission and use case, and this is why we're actively exploring with the Ripple team to partner up on several of those opportunities, and also, with different dots about, helping them to generate yield on their assets.
All right, thank you so much. So at the first, I want to ask one question to James at first for you. So in general, about the topic of that, I see a lot of companies consider holding Bitcoin or XRP or these digital assets these days. Can you say something why these things are happening these days and something like that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So actually, I just went to the Bitcoin treasure strategy conference held by Michael Saylor last week in New York City. So, the digital treasure program generally started with a MicroStrategy in 2020-21 period when he began to buy Bitcoin. And now, obviously, MicroStrategy is one of the largest holder of Bitcoin in the world. And last year, since Trump took power, Bitcoin price increased from about 65 to about 110,000 right now. So that attract about over 200 public companies in the U.S. and also around the world adopting digital treasure program using MicroStrategy strategy. So at the meantime, there are a few public companies adopting Ethereum as a digital treasure this year. And there are a few companies adopting XRP. So we think Bitcoin, as I said earlier, is one of the digital kind of reserve currency. It's going to be held by government, by pension fund, institution in the world. So by definition, so the Bitcoin has a lower risk, lower volatility, and therefore it has a lower return as well. So in corporate finance, all the returns are associated with the amount of risk. So XRP is the third largest cryptocurrency. And if you look at the XRP's price history, even back in 2017, XRP's price has reached to about $3. Now it's still $3 because of the U.S. regulation issue. Now that's being resolved. So we think there's a huge potential for XRP going forward. And the value of XRP compared to Bitcoin is still 10 times. So that's why we choose XRP as our digital treasury program.
I see. Thank you so much. What do you think about it, Jakob?
I think generally there's there's the companies that are really basically just having a cryptocurrency acquisition strategy, right? And then there is regular companies that are putting a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin and potentially XRP on their balance sheet. I guess different reasons. Mainly for investors, investing in a DAT can be interesting. Because the DAT, in a way, I would compare it these days to a bit of a listed hedge fund that can put the actual assets to work, can generate a yield on those assets, can use the capital market system to improve basically over returns. And so it can be, interesting for an investor to invest into a DAT versus just a cryptocurrency itself. So if you're very bullish on any specific asset, investing into a DAT gives you even more leveraged exposure into that asset.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think as there's so many companies more focusing on just holding crypto assets, or otherwise they have a business and then holding crypto as the treasury strategies. So I feel for me, I based in Tokyo, and some company really interested in holding a Bitcoin and then crypto assets XRP and a lot of tokens. And then one question is for a lot of Web2 companies who have no idea about crypto and blockchain, this kind of industry. So I think it's pretty tough for them to understand how to hold the crypto assets on their own. So Eric, I want to ask you how you guys helping this company, and especially what kind of services you guys provide to especially institutions a lot of banks and institutions pretty kind of worried about how they can hold crypto assets. I see some hacking these things happening in the world. So how do you guys help these kind of things?
Well, thank you for the question. So when we talk about that digital asset treasury, I just strongly believe that the custody is the most fundamental element because no matter how attractive that the upside of the digital asset may be, the CFO or the board members will never agree to adopt them into their balance sheet unless they have very strong confidence that those assets are being stored in a very safe environment. So they will require the same or even higher level of safety for digital assets compared to a traditional asset. As you know, in traditional finance, custodian banks or trust banks play the key role for the safe custody of the asset. However, in digital asset ecosystem, the risk profile is different. So specialized custodian like KDOC is essential for the DAT. So, at KDOC, we think about the custody in 3 layers, which is technology, and also operational governance, and also trust and assurance. So let me just check these elements just one by one. So the first is technology. Technology is the core for the safe custody of digital assets because digital assets are digital. And we all know what digital things are like. They can be easily copied, and they can be easily transferred or shared on the internet, and also they can be easily hacked remotely. So we need some kind of just advanced technology to protect digital assets from these risks. So at KDOC, we have deployed 100% cold wallet technology to avoid hacking risk, and also to minimize the risk that digital assets are to be exposed to be controlled by unauthorized party. We have just deployed a multi-sig technology. And also, we are currently developing multi-party computation technology as well with hardware security module. So the combination of these technologies eliminates just a single point of failure. So, and we also just keep private keys in in physically segregated environment, and we enforce very strong access control. So the goal of these technologies is very simple. Even if just one element is compromised, the system as a whole will remain secure. And the second is operations and governance. For many corporations, the security is not just about encryption of the password. It is more than that, right? So it is more about just internal control. So we have witnessed many incidents in the past that one of the employees of the company illegally took the company money into their own pocket. And those incidents did not come from outside hacker, right? It just came from the failure of internal control. So this trusted custodian must be able to provide such function to support the DAT company's internal control policy. So we have just developed a wallet platform which allows segregated account for each legal entity, and also just role-based multi-layer approval system, and also electronic endorsements workflows. So for example, if a client just hopes to withdraw some digital asset from the custody, then they have to go through multiple sign-offs before it is executed. So also our monitoring system runs on 24/7 basis with anomaly detection. So a suspicious transaction can be identified immediately and be stopped in real time. And third is recognized assurance. Institutions require proof rather than promises. So that's why the KDOC has acquired the International Security Accreditation, that is to say the SOC1 Type 2. And KDOC is the only digital custodian in Korea which acquired that SOC certificate. And we completely align with the regulatory requirements here in Korea. To get a VASP license and to operate without any violation of any regulation, you have to meet hundreds of legal requirements here in Korea. And over the past 4 years of operation, KDOC has maintained 0 incident and 0 penalty from the regulators, while some of our other competitors have got some penalties from regulators. So, in addition, we also provide cryptocurrency custody insurance to cover some potential incidents. We have a newly purchased insurance policy to cover up to 20 million USD, which is the largest coverage in Korea. So with these measures, I strongly believe that these measures will just give confidence to corporations and auditors that their assets can be protected not only by technology but also by financial and legal safeguard. And third is trust and assurance. To summarize, custody is not simply about just holding private keys in cold wallet. It's about building a trust infrastructure with advanced technology and strong operational governance and recognized assurance. With this foundation, I believe that digital asset treasury can move from theoretical idea to a practical tool for corporations. And at KDOC, our mission is to provide exactly that kind of foundation here in Korea. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So definitely, adopting the local regulation as custody is going to be really important, and also educating how we can hold a crypto assets as a more institutional grade security. So now we just discussed how why the companies having Bitcoin and crypto assets as a company's balance sheet, and also as a securities how institutional company can hold a crypto asset. So this is the kind of question I want to ask to James first. So probably a lot of people know Bitcoin Treasury, and then I want to know now if it's secured, we can see a lot of way to hold a crypto asset as that. So what's the differences like of like holding a BTC and like XRP as a treasury?
Yeah, I think BTC has already been recognized as digital gold, and it's being held by central bank and the government and a lot of pension fund. So it's kind of almost like used as a reserve currency. Currently, there are over 200 public companies adopting BTC as a digital treasury program. But in my view, I think there could be limited upside for Bitcoin just because they already reached $2 trillion market cap. And by definition, they are more stable and has less volatility and risk. On the other hand, recently you have seen Ethereum price have gone up almost by 100% just in the last couple of months. So that's because Ethereum is also the second largest digital currency, and also it has a very good functionality for smart contract, especially in the case of tokenization and so forth. So then XRP, the third largest, crypto currency. So I see in terms of the comparative value, there are more value to XRP. So there's a higher potential for XRP to go up in value. For example, XRP right now, the market cap is only $180 billion, whereas Bitcoin is almost $2 trillion already. So there's at least 10 times potential for XRP to reach the level of Bitcoin. I think that given what the U.S. government is doing, a lot of financial is doing, so institution is doing, so I think there's a strong possibility XRP could catch up with Bitcoin over the next few years.
Got it. So what about you, Jacob? I know you guys are providing a lot of services, including lending services, and then XRP is like definitely like next generation, like transferring the money globally. So how do you see holding XRP means a lot to you?
Yeah, I think there is both a case to be made, obviously, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, for XRP, and potentially a couple of other assets. But XRP definitely differentiates from Bitcoin in terms of utility. I think that was already pointed out. Another very interesting factor, I think, is for the DATs, once again, is yield generation. I think when it comes to XRP, we're still relatively early compared to other assets such as Ethereum that obviously has native staking, and a very large percentage of that asset actually actively already generates yield. So I think XRP has a massive potential to be deployed into yield-bearing opportunities. Now, obviously, we already talked about using XRP for cross-border payment settlement. I think XRP, because of its, extremely liquid nature, is obviously also a very interesting collateral, right? So use XRP as collateral to borrow stable coins, other assets. Use XRP as collateral to facilitate stablecoin cross-border payments. So there's a lot that you can do, and I think it is very interesting that if you already, if you think that XRP is an attractive asset, then investing into an XRP DAT can be very attractive because, besides just having, this yield opportunities, obviously there is also the advantage that there's regulatory oversight, right? So you're gonna invest into a kind of listed hedge fund in that sense that has best-in-class institutional grade custody providers and has has probably a better transparency versus investing into a private fund. So I think that's an interesting value proposition for XRP.
Got it. Thank you. So I see a lot of the way we can hold crypto assets as a DAT, and then definitely we're so excited what's going to be happening in the next future. So each token has different way that we can use, and also different approaches as a strategy. So this is kind of a general question. As our topic, So how do you guys think DAT in the future is going to be shaping? Like, you see a lot of some company are more focusing on holding like one tokens. Maybe some company holding some the other tokens as well. And the other company is like working on the business and also holding cryptos. So in next a few years, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think a digital treasury program is only the beginning. So for public company to accumulate some digital assets. But more importantly, is really what you're going to do with the digital currency. And that's why Nature Miracle right now is developing an ecosystem where we can apply XRP for tokenization, and we can use XRP for customer reward program, airline mileage, hotel point, and so forth. And today we just announced that we are joining force with 2 other publicly listed companies to launch an X Club, and I have already received a very positive feedback from people in the audience. So we hope we can work together to promote the ecosystem and the community of XRP. That's what we need to be working on over the next few years.
Got it. Thank you. So I think we only have like few minutes left for this panel. So I just want to like all you guys to have any like message or something as like a future of digital assets treasury. Each of you guys can speak something like for as a message to the audience here. And what do you expect for like XRP in the future as well? Maybe starting from Eric. Yeah.
Well, I just personally believe that is one of the prerequisites for the thriving future of the DAT is that clear regulation. So currently, there is no formally just established a regulatory framework in Korea. So the companies are not allowed to just acquire or purchase digital assets in the exchange. So in this sense that and there is a lot of just in the gray zone there. So even for the custodians like us, it is very hard to just follow up all that regulations, which just produces a lot of cost there. And I think just that is same for the DAT strategy companies too. If the regulation is not clear, then nobody can move, right? So and also, so I just hope that the regulators would just set up the very clear just regulations for the whole ecosystem, and I just believe that such a very clear regulation framework will help the ecosystem grow.
Thank you, Robert Jakob.
Yeah, I think there's only going to be that many pure DATs that are going to be successful. I think we're going to reach a point where it's going to be the premium is going to come down obviously, but it's still going to be interesting, and the winners are going to be the one that are really generating additional basically value, which means they're generating additional yield on top of the regular asset, or they are obviously generating returns by simply executing on a good business in that sense, right? So I think the other trend is going to be that I think every company or many companies are going to become DATs just because the industry is going to grow. I think tokenization is at a big inflection point right now. Stablecoin adoption is growing significantly. So there's probably going to be a lot of companies, and nearly all companies, they're going to have some digital assets on their balance sheet, right? And probably at that point, it's going to be just a normal thing, and we're not going to talk about DATs anymore. But that's the big trend that I see, that companies are not just raising money from outside investors, but companies are using their revenue to purchase cryptocurrency for treasury management and other utilities of some of those cryptocurrencies.
Got it. Robert James, can you?
Yeah, so Korea has the second largest XRP community outside of the US and holding 25 billion of XRP. And the Korean investors are very smart. I think this is the right choice. There's a bright future of XRP. I hope you hold on to your XRP, which I think it will have a higher return compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I hope you can buy our stock as well, because we will be doing a lot of work for XRP. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I wish I had more time to talk about this, but we would like to keep discussing. about the future of DET and then XRP here maybe next year. So big thanks to the speaker here, and then thank you so much for coming here today.